ještě, ale my budeme až dneska. To náš potom, jasné, jasné, ok.
máme mapování, jízdenek a to pak
tyto dvě a pak vlastně to vystřídá Tomáš. Dámy a pánové, vstoupíme do naší odpolední části po obědové, tak prosím, usaďme se a
So let's start. We have a big topic ahead of us, mapping. So we will wait just for everybody. We have one little bit controversial topic, which is mapping. We already mentioned it several times. Not all the maps are the same, and we will just hear more about it. I would like to invite Tomáš Kafka from Czech BCO to present the topic of mapping, and Mrs. Zuzana Koubová and Marek Ebert. We already have it, so please come to the stage. And then I would like to introduce my colleague Tomáš Kafka, who will just play the role of opening the discussion and also a creator of maps, white spots, and we finally know whom to blame. And then I would like to introduce chairman of the Czech Telecommunication Office, Marek Ebert, and Zuzana Koubová, who is preparing grants for us, and she's the one, thanks to her, we can build actually. Well, it's not my fault. I'm only displaying data you submit to me, so I only convert it to digital and interactive form. So at the beginning, I would like to summarize briefly telecommunication infrastructure, where they are seen in digital maps, just to quickly go through the next topic of the next session. So what has been already introduced, telecommunication networks are split to mobile networks, and we are interested to know where is the signal in the maps, or we are interested to know where is the fixed network, the connection lines, or who is offering services in the maps. So that's the question of services. Then speaking about infrastructure, irrespective of type of the network, we are interested to know where the infrastructure is located, how it is developed within the Czech Republic. We like to know so what has been subsidized, and then we also bring national and international benchmarking and national statistics. Mobile services, you definitely know marketing maps of telecommunication operators. Anyway, if you wish to understand how to compare quality of signal and actually how to compare benchmark mobile services, we have a map. Czech Telecommunication Office had in fact started to operate a visual portal of telecommunication services this year, and we will know more about it. Speaking about fixed line, fixed connection, the maps are quite often not interactive. It's like a search engine for the exact address. Then it is necessary to look to information of mobile operators. Nevertheless, you can look for set-in infrastructure portal Zdrychlujeme Česko.cz, which is really handy portal. And speaking about declared connections that are visualized in mappainternetu.cz, and we will know more about it. how the Czech Republic is connected. You'll see it on the backbone maps that are posted on the mobile operators website or regional backbone networks sites. There is a registry of networks, so it's necessary to register in the portal, and then you can share information about operated or owned networks with the public administration of the Czech Republic. Location of infrastructure, operators of networks usually don't disclose it, just exceptionally. Only when there is a construction plant, then they may just rarely disclose it. Then, for instance, digital technical map, for instance, Přerov district has excellent portal. Otherwise, the technical infrastructure is reflected in the digital technical maps of regions, currently in technical maps of municipalities and regions, and it should be part of DTM. How is the infrastructure developed? It is maintained by the Ministry of Industry and Trade together with BCOs, and you'll find the map on our website, bconetwork.cz, and you'll also find the map of the grant projects and grants to be announced. Prior to its announcement, it is necessary to validate the data, verify it, and those information are available prior to opening of those sites on the website veřejná konzultace.cz, publicconsulting.cz. I just would like to highlight one information that has been posted recently on BCO website. So there are discussions carried out with all representatives of the municipalities, and it's a subjective evaluation as perceived by the representatives of the municipalities, and we have quite well developed a set of statistics and questions, and then the subjective evaluation shows how public perceives the actual coverage versus data collected by the operators. I will not go through the GIS portal because there is 8 chapters and each holds 4 to 5 maps. Nevertheless, if you are interested, you can just play with it. It is interactive together with maps and graphs and charts and outputs of our BCO coordinators from the time when BCO was established. Last but not least, I would also point out the Czech Statistical Office data and international benchmarking in the ICT infrastructure session of the Czech Statistical Office. There is quite interesting and detailed presentation of the situation, including graphical display. It was collected during the data collected from households and so on. So they just pointed out that data are available, and it is available also in the English language. So that's how telecommunications are reflected on the maps. And now I would like to open the first session of this topic, which is development of connection of addresses to internet. The map has been already suggested, the white and black sites retrieved from the data collection of Czech Statistical Office. Statistical units that are used for those maps are active connections, about 3.9 million, then available connections, so that means where the connection could be established, then almost 17 million, then address points, which is then split to the address of the residential building, and then it is recalculated for the residential units. Data are available long time, since 2015. I have just displayed the development from 2015 to 2022, so you can see that the map white and map black is developed quite intensively. It is related to households and NGA 30 megabits per second plus. So that's why the upcoming subsidies relate to 100 megabits plus. Nevertheless, this development is available, and again you'll see it once you click on BCO network. How those maps are developed. Not only data about available or active connections are used, but primarily the data from the cadastral office, the residential buildings, number of apartments, registry of entrepreneurs from the Czech telecommunication office, and we also implemented the data from the registry of the sole entrepreneurs, and all those data are merged together, and it is necessary to create final data set. You'll always face problem or challenge. There are no problems, but only challenges. The basic data is that there is a time delay between the time when data was collected and verified. So that's what needs to be taken in consideration. Then the reference data are live, living data. So before everything is processed, then 20 to 30 thousands of new addresses, new buildings are built annually, and if you don't know about them, they are not reflected in the database, and you somehow need to reflect it. Of course, you have to cleanse the data, because sometimes you have errors, such as a family house with 700 apartments or something like that. And I have to say there are different fake addresses. The addresses are not unique. Sometimes open data pretend to be open, but then you cannot download it. So we still have room to improve as a Czech Republic from the point of view of the processor. Nevertheless, if we merge it together, then we can see interesting maps related to the basic settlement units or municipality or something like that. So are the data trustworthy? Can we trust it? So it's a regular data collection organized since 2015. So you can see certain trends development, and once there are deviation, we immediately see whether it's the data failure or whether it's due to the merge of operators or something like that. What is important is that the data are systematically verified, and at the end of the process, you immediately see the potential error. For instance, if you have new address point or if address is missing, then you immediately see it. So data are related to the relevant settlement unit, and it's filled in by the operators that's the advantage. But on the other hand, we miss the information from the public network. Quality of reported data, it's up to the operators because, in fact, the situation is getting more and more complex. So to fill in the forum, to understand it well, it starts to be more and more complex. Or that is at least information I'm hearing. So we also get new and new columns for the processors, and we need to reflect it. And what is important, reference data are live, living. So we get new and new basic settlement units. New addresses are added. So we really need to look at the map from the view of covered sessions. We have to check or consider relative figures. So speaking about data verification or using the data for grants, how those maps can be used. So I would give floor to our colleagues. So I would like to invite Zuzana Koubová.
Ještě jednou dobrý den.
Good afternoon. My colleague presented in detail the data, the mapping, how the mapping is important, how much information it provides. And I would add some more information, and also I would like to point out how important the data is to be able to make a call notification, a call for building high-speed internet networks where the connections for individual households are built. We need data which we can draw on, and where we can see which addresses are covered, which are not. Sometimes we view the addresses as completely uncovered. Some are covered with a 30 megabit data, but can be covered with a higher speed internet because the EU allows to do so. So it is really a key data source, and the quality is therefore of major importance. As regards the information on the available connections, this data is entered by the operators down to the level of each address. The better the data is, and the more credible the data is, the better the allocation of the support will be. And of course, this aid will reach the addresses which are really uncovered, and we should avoid allocating the public funds to those addresses which are covered. So this might help in being more effective in making use of the public funds. So how do we know that the data is trustworthy? In what situations we can trust it? So for that, we have a public consultation. So what does it mean really? It is a time space. It is a space on the public consultation web where anyone can enter a comment concerning a call being prepared. And the purpose is to verify the mapping data, to complete some information, and to collect comments when someone thinks that the public data is not correct. The public consultations is based or is imposed by the Commission regulation, and the purpose is to verify the data reported. because the operators provide the data in the first quarter of the year, but for the prior year, the first quarter, the purpose of the first quarter of the year is to collect the data. So we receive the data from the Czech Telecommunications Office at the beginning of the second half of the year. The Telecommunications Office verifies the data. When we receive it, we analyze it, we process it, and based on that, we determine the key residential units which are not covered sufficiently, and we call them white spots. But this is a long period of time, and talking about the current situation, so it takes 10 months from the data being entered by the operators. So if there is any public consultation in future, there's a sufficient time lag for some infrastructure having been built. So this is why the information or new information must be inserted to, must be completed to see the change against the data original reported. As well, we want to obtain information about any investment planned. Protection of private investment is important. So if any infrastructure operator has some private plans to cover a certain area, we have to protect this private investment. So we also need to have knowledge of these plans, and we need these plans to be reported for the public consultations. And through the public consultations, also a comment can be submitted in case anyone does not agree with the information reported. So this is from a public consultation. This is a overview of the key residential units where there is support provided also. So you can see which of the residential units are considered uncovered and where the support can be directed. As regards public consultation comment from the view of the public infrastructure operator, some time has elapsed from the time when I built a new network. So when there is, I can submit a comment, or I can submit a comment in case I have some private plans. This covers trustworthy plans, which are then verified and checked by way of the public consultations. On the web, there are also instructions for this verification. Or it needs to be documented by some contract with a supplier or by some public authority decision. So if the operator submits a comment like this, it should lead upon the verification to this investment being taken off the call, because the area may seem sufficiently covered, or an area which will be covered in a near period. So this subsidy will not be necessary. Then a comment from the perspective of a mayor, local government representative, or citizen. So there will be a list of the web which we consider uncovered. So if I find the municipality or part of municipality in this list, it is not sufficiently covered, and it should be part of the call and the operators should include it into their plans for the coverage. So it seems that everything is positive, and the internet will be provided in some close period. But part of it may have already been covered, and then again it will be cancelled. It will not be part of that call. Nevertheless, the Ministry of Industry and Trade can offer such a residential unit as part of the call, but there is no guarantee that it will finally be selected. From our side, it is just a confirmation that this residential unit is a white spot and is uncovered. But there are many of such residential units, and whenever there is a project the fact that there is a project does not provide a guarantee that all the residential units will be covered. We have already announced 3 calls. In all of those calls, there were these or there were residential units that occurred repeatedly, because nobody has selected them so far. This may be a case where the investment does not bring any return and does not guarantee a return on investment for the operator. As well, it may happen that the mayor or inhabitant does not find their residential unit in their list, so that means that it is considered sufficiently covered, and therefore it will not be included in the call. But the mayor, for example, does not like it, and they have information from the locals that it is not true, or maybe the inhabitants applied for the service from the operator, but they were not. But the operator does not provide it really. So this is a situation where the people should submit the comment for the public consultation. It is good information that there was some demand which was not fulfilled, and we should therefore assess what the situation is like, and we should talk to the infrastructure operator. And when there are enough such comments in that area, we can reconsider the coverage, and we can change the color of the residential unit to white, and then it has to be included in the call. A public consultation is a certain time period before any call being announced. It has several rounds, but still this time period is limited. This is an internet map which has been mentioned many times already. It is a web portal which shows the data from the electronic data collection. So this is the way the connections were reported by the operators. It is a geographical demonstration of this information. And it shows the technology and the speed, connection speed as well. So you can find out what is offered there and by whom, and based on that you can submit a comment again. This is information about available connections, which also includes connections not installed to date. So if the end user is interested in the service, they have to demand it from the operator, and then they will receive information whether within 4 weeks they can be connected or not. If not, they can use a form on this website to submit a comment so that it is processed and resolved as soon as possible.
Tak,
So I would like to thank Zuzana. On behalf of BCO, I can promise to focus on the issues that have been suggested because everything is not easy, but it's extremely important because without verifying data, we may end up constructing insights where it won't work. So I promise that we will prepare together educational videos, guidelines for everybody to understand the situation, simple ones. Together with Tomáš, we are working on the receipt and filling in the forms to be intuitive. So if I am able to fill it in, then you'll do it really easily. So I would like to thank very much for that, because thanks to verification of the data, we are improving quality of our networks. We have been talking about fixed networks, but sometimes also the mobile networks contribute to the coverage. Time to time, we just experience it in the municipalities. They tell us that they are not having the troubles with fixed, but not with even with a mobile service. They are not able to call even the ambulance, or they cannot call from anywhere. And sometimes we just hear situation they have to run up to the hill when they need to call somebody. That's not what we want, and mobile operators are actually filling in the duties from the auction, so they are quite quickly improving the collections in the Czech Republic. And I just wanted to ask the chairman to tell us more about the mobile coverage. I have prepared one slide to show you more about it, because in fact when we show the internet map, it's about fixed networks, and my colleague will show you in a minute the information about mobile telecommunication networks. What is key is the V portal here. It's something related to mobile networks, and mobile networks, however, don't work without the fibers, and they experience identical troubles with constructions as the fixed network. So let's see what Czech Telecommunication Office is collecting, looking to situation and what we can do about it. Good afternoon. I would like to thank you for invitation. Those of you who don't know me, my name is Marek Bert, and I'm honored to manage the Czech Telecommunication Office right now. I just would like to ask whether there is anybody else from other industries than telecommunications. They are connected remotely, so because I should not explain what everybody knows. So I have prepared the presentation about V-Portal, and I did not manage to download it, so I would leave it here, and it will be available later on. So speaking about V-Portal and about mobile coverage and data collection. So 3 areas I was asked to talk about. So mobile coverage, I would like to highlight that the Czech Telecommunication Office is definitely not the one who is going to ensure the coverage. First of all, we do not build networks, and we also have kind of limited competencies to make sure that the white spots are being converted to the covered area. We don't have competencies to do so. Last time when we have done the maps 2020, we also try to set development criteria for the transmission networks, currently 5G networks. So we currently set specific developmental criteria for rollout of 5G networks in order that latest by 10 years, once the radio frequency was allocated, which happened in 2023, or that means by January or February 2032, all districts will be covered with 95% of inhabitants. We have managed to achieve similar coverage of the Czech Republic. We have identified the main criteria for all the corridors, railway corridors, and so on. I have asked my colleagues to prepare this presentation. They are responsible for verification of fulfillment of developmental criteria in September. From the view of covering the territory by 5G, currently we are at 56 to 89% of territory covered by 5G. And speaking about number of inhabitants, 67 to 88% of inhabitants receive 5G. Those data are determined not by measuring the entire country, but those data were computed using data retrieved by mobile operators. They just register individual BTS that operators put in operation. So those data are downloaded to V portal, and you'll see it in more details. So you'll see the overview by individual municipalities, by individual streets. You can zoom in, you can select a tier, which operator I wish, which frequency I can use, and you can just do it using morphological maps and so on. So I think it's a very useful aid for all self-governments. So to make sure what is the coverage in the given area. We are actually adding information to this data. We ongoingly update it, and in fact, we then know what areas should be improved. Of course, we get the information from the municipalities. Recently, I visited Liberec region, discussing about the situation. Then we sent our technicians measuring the data, and they have to use the equipment determined by the auction for 5G in this case. So it is all then downloaded to V portal. So everybody who is interested will then find our measured data from locations we were able to measure in real time. So that's how we identify mobile white spots, and we work with those white spots later on. We are working with that later on once we have to improve the coverage. For instance, once there is an auction of a frequency, or for instance, right now there will be an auction of radio coverage 900 and 1800 frequencies, hertz. So we also share this information with the Minister of Industry and Trade. And last year, they have actually discussed about it, and they just developed a document how to improve coverage of rural areas and also improving coverage in railway corridors. So we can just ask for coverage. Once we have a tool, for instance, the winner of the radio frequencies together with terms and conditions. But unfortunately, in other situations, we don't have any enforcing responsibility. We can just check whether the quality is relevant, and then when handing over this information to the ministry, then ministry can develop the subsidies or grants for improving the coverage. Together with mobile operators, we may try to invent a mechanism that would represent a system solution for not quality coverage. We cooperate with the regions, of course, and we, of course, have common interest to improve the situation together with the representative of the municipalities, of course, because usually it is about places that are not economically interesting, not enough people live there, remote locations, no backhaul connections, and so that's why those cases where we just verify the data, then based on this learning, we would like to prepare a document for the municipalities and cooperate with them on the extended improved offer of what the municipality can do to improve the situation, what the operator can do to improve the situation. And we have agreed with BCO that we would also involve BCO that would actually assist municipalities to phrase the requirements and find possible solutions to improve the coverage. So that's about it, about the actual situation of mobile coverage. And of course, a lot of municipalities simply inform us about a lot of requirements. We try to fulfill it. I just wanted to inform you that unfortunately we are not able to quickly manage to get the coverage from the moment when the mayor informs us about lack of coverage. It is unfortunately not like that. So speaking about V-portal, then maybe I would like to add a few information. It has been said, you see the simple link there, and you'll find the information about availability of both mobile and fixed services, infrastructure, and also a radio and television signal. Speaking about the data that were collected electronically, for instance, when individual stakeholders on the market, thousands of them report mid-year and at the end of the year geographical situation, and then those data are then posted on our portal, resulting in the information about availability of the information, and we see the results of our measurement also. For the future, based on the V-portal, we would like to build another application called Broadband Atlas, and this application should interlink today's application that you probably know, which is a benchmarker, a tool that was prepared by Czech Telecommunication Office. We made it available for public. We also see the availability of services in there. So based on data we collect within the electronic data collection, and we also combine the price offers. And I would say that for a lot of municipalities, it may be used as a good tool, what offers not only from the view of available infrastructure, but also what price lists are available in the given locations. That's about vPortal. And getting back to electronic data collection, I see representatives of business community. We discuss with them heavily how to set the data collection system right. It is always about achieving a balance. What kind of data we need for our own needs, because we analyze market and those analyses then should be used for decision on potential regulation on selected market segments, and if so, then do it correctly. And then, of course, it is also used for preparation of the grants, fixed and mobile networks. And then, of course, reports for colleagues from statistical offices or European Commission. In the morning, we discussed why we are not doing that well in the international benchmarking and what data are submitted to them. Well, those data were determined by methodology of the collection, and unfortunately, in many cases, Czech Republic is not able to persuade those who collect the data that the structure of data should be designed differently due to an effort to collect a unified structure of data. We try to explain specific situation of the Czech Republic from the view of, for instance, technology 3.1, something is achievable, something it's hard to explain, and maybe it's not possible to implement it to data collection. Nevertheless, European Commission and Statistical Office, they may use our data once they need it. Within the scope, we are authorized to share. Data collection is done half-yearly and annually, and of course the annual data collection is wider. And speaking about the data we are talking about, that means data about infrastructure, services of broadband, both fixed and mobile networks. It is about methodology, what Czech Telecommunication Office had prepared. We have not prepared it on our own. We have prepared it together with stakeholders from the industry, and I have to say that not everybody has a unified opinion, and we also cooperated with the academicians from the universities. So I would say that last year and this year is somehow tuned up. So data that we will collect next year for 2023, we just keep the structure stabilized as it is, and I would like to promise that data for 2024 would be collected based on amended structure if methodologies needed to be modified in order to reflect current situation on the market. That's about the electronic data collection. I have already explained vPortal, and I would say that my presentation will be available online. And speaking about mobile network improvement, coverage, I explained that we try to develop activities we are entitled to do, or we cooperate with the ministries, and we, for instance, provide information to identified wide intervention areas. I have to say that I'm not able to invent anything else what I should explain, but I'm here for your questions. Otherwise, you can contact me anytime. So I see the question. Schmid. I'm a mayor of small municipality. We are learning about maps from information, historical information as at certain point of time. But if I, as a mayor, would like to develop my municipality, are there any maps of planned activities, let's say for 6 months forecasts? So, for instance, I would learn that suddenly 5G will be implemented or something like that. So, future. Yes, we definitely do not have the information about those plans, being able to tell you when and which operator assumes to build a network. Maybe you should ask mobile operators, and I have verified it in specific examples. When you just check specific location or specific municipality, operators are usually ready to develop those plans or discuss it. Of course, with a view of economic competition, so maybe not disclosing it fully. When the grant was prepared called 5G rural areas, it was already announced. Applications are being submitted now, and we help Ministry of Industry and Trade to evaluate those applications, and we try to assess whether those white spots should be covered by mobile operators based on the duties from the auction. So maybe the situation in coverage may change in different locations. Nevertheless, what was subject to the call, the white spots published by MIT as the intervention areas within the 5G rural areas calls. So in fact, those were areas that mobile operators did not include in their development plan, and that's why Ministry had prepared the call to improve the situation. Nevertheless, we unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, we don't have this information being able to tell you in this location and in given period of time. The only exception is, and I apologize for not saying it earlier, only in the cases of the development plan requested by the auction outputs, because there is a risk of potentially disturbing television signal. So in order to prevent, eliminate a situation when television signal would be destroyed, then we have set the duties of 2 months trial period of new BTS of 5th generation 5G. And during those 2 months, we test whether the pilot operation, trial operation is running and does not disturb television signal. And it's probably the only thing or only situation when we know 2 months ahead that specific mobile operators are about to launch mobile BTS because they are testing potential disturbance of the signal, and after this period of time they evaluate whether it was okay or not, and if so, then we just require measurement to be done by the operators, for instance, to replace filters of the TV signal or something like that. I would say for 2 months the municipalities should be informed and they should learn that this or that BTS is about to start operating, and they should be informed about it. But it's only forecast for 2 months. So I would like to add on it. If you are interested in strategy of fixed networks, then this part should be incorporated in the DTMs, and it should also cover the future planned construction projects in order to be able to coordinate individual construction projects. Because, of course, once coordinating individual constructions, then everything goes faster. But if you are interested, you can or we can, in fact, try to organize mutual meetings with the operators with you once you prepare a strategy. I understand that for the municipality, it's really important once making digging to coordinate everything and coordinating all the necessary works. So that's about it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your attention and have a very nice day. Thank you very much.
Prezentaci potom. Jo.
Ne, mám ji tady. Skutečně tady. Akorát tam ještě další, tak je tam portál římská linie.
Tak jo, moc krát děkuji.
Thank you. We will add this presentation to your materials. Now let me thank to my colleagues, to the panelists who were so brave to present. And don't be worried to submit comments. We will try to help you, because what we want is that the data is correct and that the grants are allocated to the correct venues, so that the networks are not duplicated or do not lack anywhere. So now I will hand over to my colleague. We spoke about mapping in the Czech Republic, and I will hand over to Zdeněk, who will add some more information. Mapping is a big or important topic, not only in our country, but also other EU member states. And my colleague Tomáš Novák from the Czech BCO will provide some information about that. And also we will hear about Slovakia from Mr. Rastislav Pavlik and Attila Bet. So I would like to invite all these gentlemen on stage.
Tak, dobrý den, dámy a pánové.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I can see that you are still here in quite a large number, that not many people left after the lunch, so it seems that the conference is interesting. I will try to accelerate. But we have been hearing about the importance of mapping in the area of internet, not only for the purpose of the calls, but also to be able to check where the public funds are directed. But for us in BCO, it is important because whenever we meet a mayor in a municipality, the first thing they talk about is the mapping. This is really a thing which is important, which they consider important. And if there is a mayor who doesn't want to deal with internet, we can use the mapping to prove that it is an important issue. So in the EU member states, the situation and the way it is being fixed is similar. So let's wait for the presentation. Okay, thank you. So the easiest way to find out what the situation in connection is in Europe is to visit the BCO Network EU website. You can see that each of the countries has their unique approach. We have opted for the method which was presented by my pre-speakers, where you can see individual addresses and the coverage. In Austria, for example, they have 100-meter distances, which is not so precise. So as regards mapping, the Czech Republic is one of the countries who has a very high quality mapping. So I must say I'm looking forward to taking a seat, because I want to see whether these chairs are comfortable or not really. So let me sit down. I will now head over to my colleague. Well, if I stayed in the armchair for 2 or 3 minutes more, I might fall asleep, because we had a big lunch. So I will ask for my presentation now. This is mapping in Slovakia and how we have been doing it so far. The last mapping in 2022 was done in quite a random way. The last information we collected was about NGA, where in 2019 we had 1,800 white municipalities. And in the memorandum, which I mentioned before lunch, there were 21 white villages. Then we mapped the connection of 100 mega to 1 giga. And the information from 2022 mentions 75% white spots, white addresses. But we need the data to be able to make the interventions in the intervention areas where public consultations must be carried out, and to be able to update the data, and the intervention areas we want to implement the intervention calls. We collected data concerning broadband connection based on the BEREC rules. It was not focused on infrastructure inside the building. As regards information granularity, the Ministry of the Interior has created a register of addresses which contains a list of address points, including some address identification and the coordinates, and to that we assign certain parameters. That is, what kind of technology there is, the maximum download speed during the peak hours, then upload speed during the peak hours, topology from the operator's headquarters, and as regards the plans, besides the technologies, we also asked about the expected dates of deployment, but this is information from the operators. It is information which is important for us, and based on that we can provide further information, and for that I will hand over to my colleague who will tell you more about the numbers specifically. So these are the numbers from the mapping in 2022. So the key information, this is the number of addresses that were mapped, so 1,600,000. 43 operators took part. So these are the operators from whom we obtained the data. And these are, so in the first two columns you can see addresses which are covered. So it's 1,661,000. That's the number of addresses, 100%, and of that 24.80% is covered with 1 gigabit. So, and as regards what the operators are preparing, they said they by 2025 or end of 2025 they will cover 35.6%. So this is the number of addresses which will be covered at the end of 2025, and still there will be 591,000 addresses where interventions can be done. Okay, next slide. This shows what the trend will be. So this is 412,000 addresses covered with 1 gigabit speed, and this number will grow up to 1,069,000 by the end of 2025. So in percentage it is 150%. It is a little bit doubtful, but this is what the operators reported. And as the gigabit coverage will grow, the proportion of lower speed coverage will go down. So you will see also the numbers of addresses, how they will change, 746 down to 300 something. And this is the trustworthiness, the credibility of these numbers. So in 2019, there was a plan to cover 36.2% with 1 gigabit speed, and actually they covered 30%. So the gap was not that big. So it is quite credible, but not 100%. So in this perspective, we have to view what they are declaring now. This is the newest data, newest information. At the end of 2025, 35.6% addresses will not be covered. So there will be a growth from the current status of 24.8% to 64.4%. And as regards, that's the 1 gigabit, and as regards lower speeds, in 2022 it was 77.2% with 100 megabyte, and 22.8% will have a speed lower than 100 megabyte. So thank you. One important information. In the National Broadband Plan, we had a plan to upgrade the speeds from 100 mega to 100 giga, but in 2030, the goal for 1 giga is 100%. now information from business intelligence, the current status, East Slovakia. There were the operators carried out some efforts to modernize the networks, and this was implemented in practice. And then there were some villages in west and central Slovakia where there were small operators' activities visible, like the areas of the towns of Prievidza, for example. These are covered by small operators. As regards 2025, we are talking about the gigabit goal, so the coverage should be 64.33%. So it's East Slovakia, Banská Bystrica, and also West Slovakia, Bratislava, Banská Bystrica. These are geologically interesting regions, lowlands, in the direction of the Czech Republic. From Bratislava in the west and also Košice in the east. So these are territories where the operators are willing to install the networks, and the costs are lower there. But here in this part of Slovakia, these are the districts or regions where we would like to intervene. So if I was to split it, looking at the municipality or district of Velký Krtiš, which has least coverage, so by 2025 it should be 12% only. We have split that or broke that down to individual municipalities in that district. So these are the challenges ahead of us. So these are the districts where we should intervene. Another district, Krupina, north of Velký Krtič, 13% by or 16% by 2025. When we were preparing the mapping, we talked with our regulatory office about how to propose these regions where we should intervene. In the past, we were saying there were certain areas of region which were disadvantaged, and we will make this information more specific. And based on that, we will carry out the pilot calls as we presented before lunch. And these will verify the determinations, the setup that we came up with. As regard, we cooperate with the regulatory office, so we can see the 1 gigabit coverage down to the level of individual municipalities, where we can see certain places where it is quite covered. And this should be the situation in 2025. So this is again broken down to the level of individual municipalities. So these are the challenges we are facing for the future. But you can see there will still be white spots in the central and eastern part of Slovakia. So the operators got a table of 591,000 addresses, which will not be covered by 2025. So they are studying it now, and based on the cooperation with the regulatory office, the areas to intervene will be picked up. We have identified one issue, which is the issue related to the statistical office. It is the issue of matching the connection points, the addresses to household. Actually, the statistical office is not really willing to get engaged in that. Maybe we will have to cooperate with the cadastral office. So far, I have said that we are mapping the situation quite randomly. But in the future, we will have a broadband portal based on an act on electronic communications. We will have a geo-survey, electronic geo-survey, and we will have a system which will support us in obtaining the data, in collecting, processing the data, and also in the public consultations. So thank you very much. I believe we have provided you with some basic information that will give you a picture of the situation in other countries.
Thank you very much. Please stay with us. And I have noticed one interesting thing. And I would say that maybe market would be interested to know how it works actually. How operators feel about collecting data more frequently in smaller batches. Did they protest? So actually they should be now participating in pilot preparations or pilot data collection. It is important to know that until today, they were submitting data to 4 points, mapping to our ministries, data collection at the regulatory office, collecting data in 3 databases. And they expect that they would forward data only to a single point and don't have to submit the data to 4 more sites. So the feedback is positive. Do you have any information how data are collected abroad? Because we are collecting data per address points for years. Do you have any experience whether colleagues may collect data per grids, let's say 100 by 100 meters? Do you have experience with anything like that? Well, I can say that based on the Austrian experience, they also collect data from operators per addresses. In case of fixed networks and per mobiles, they are collecting data per grids, 100 by 100 meters. So fixed address points plus grids per mobiles. Thank you. Anybody else? Any question for our colleagues from Slovakia? No? Then thank you very much for detailed explanation to see how everything is done also abroad. And I guess you would be interested in the upcoming break. The refreshment is already prepared for you. I would like to ask you to take your refreshment with you back to the conference room because we still have interesting information from 5G and smart communities from our colleagues from the European community. So we would learn more interesting information how the networks are used and built. And we have some questions here. How BCO will help starting 2024? Well, we have disclosed part of the information starting 2024. We are detailed cooperating in details with municipalities, and in fact, a municipality that will ask for it will receive the information and information how the networks are working, with whom they should cooperate, and so on. Nevertheless, less frequently. We will more focus on detailed support and communication among operators, because our aim is to interconnect the market together with the municipalities, and we will focus both on fixed networks, as Chairman Ebert had already explained, and also focusing on mobile networks, and we will prepare the internet map for you together with our colleagues from Ministry of Industry and Trade. We will just focus on answering and resolving the comments, and also we will be charged of technical communications related to 5G services to use it in order to be able to use everything and use the given services. So we will be involved in those basic activities, and of course what we have already started to do today, we have helped municipalities to prepare strategic plans. It's quite important effort in order to implement also the electronic networks that are missing today, and subsequently the qualified personnel may draft it for the relevant areas which is currently missing. And that's what we are going to do next, and we will try to cooperate with you as much as we can. How specifically BCO cooperates? Quite frequently, both municipalities and operators consult us, and they want us to be a translator for them. That's simply how it is in the IT world, because mobile operators offer certain services. Nevertheless, municipalities are not experts in this field. They just know how to arrange waste management, electricity, taxes, and so on. And I'm talking especially about small municipalities, so those are quite frequent cases, and quite frequently we also act as an independent mediator. We are cooperating with MITs. We are not state officers. We quite often work part-time, so we are independent of state administration, independent of municipalities, independent of operators. So we are independent bodies, independent of technologies, and this gives us a freedom to honestly advise the best approach. So speaking about specific cases, quite often we just handle the requirement related to ownership. So we can just quite frequently handle the requirements of the penetration of the given operator in the given area. So we just can handle better feedback for the designers, so they will be able to work better. And this is a big part of our activities. So how it is handled from the CTO? Well, Czech Telecommunication Office verifies prices, and if you complain, they can check prices from the wholesale offers, and if you think that you are discriminated, then there is nothing easier than just complain through a setting or through the Czech communication office, thinking that the pricing is not set right. How BCO prepares mayors for the public consulting? We will just prepare with our colleagues simple prepared form, because we think that during the digitized time, we don't have to fill in everything manually, so we just try to structure everything in order to facilitate comments management and also entering the data, of course. Then IROP 45 project is conditioned by strategy of building a non-public network. Do you want to help us with that? Once we know just the details, just contact us for sure. We are not specialists in creating strategies or projects, because once we just submit the projects, we would lose our independency, and we won't be able to advise independently. And we, in fact, together with my colleagues, we just discussed it with citizens and so on. So anytime you feel like, you can contact us, and we will just look for the cooperation. We cooperate not only with municipalities, but also with regions, and the troubles may start over there. And for a number of regions, we are well-established partners, so we are already cooperating with them and so on. So they were the questions, and I didn't want to keep it for the very end. So if somebody leaves early, it will be a mistake, of course, because we have prepared together with our colleagues some prizes, awards from us, from people from BCO, not from the project. So time for break, and 5 to 7 minutes, and please bring your coffee back to the conference hall, so we will be able to continue.
Je to k nevíře, ale přestávka se blíží ke konci, tak prosím, dosvačte.
So the break is about to end, so please get back to your seats so that we can open the final part of the conference.
Tak, já vím, že se vám...
I understand that you like the lobby with the refreshments more than the conference hall, but please grab your coffee, whatever you are eating, and get back to your seats, because now my colleagues will show you a brand new a new project, and it should concern operators as well as municipalities, and it's not related only to the electronic communications networks. Tomáš Kafka from BCO, who will present the project taking a picture of a building, of a structure.
I would like to invite you to the lobby where we posted panels, so time is running. So just briefly, I will ask for the presentation to explain what is it about. So it is a project of a modern way how to document progress of construction projects. About a year ago, we were invited to a seminar related to good practices in municipalities, and one of the ideas used abroad is using documentation of services. By traditional photography, you will just based it in the GIS and also using the NERV technology. You can just scan the trenches and you create a 3D model. It is also used by the Czech police to map car accidents, and then you have really trendy procedure using scanning, geographical scanning on tablet or mobile handsets, or of course professional scanner. You can scan your construction building, and in a minute you'll receive 3D model photo documentation, and you can just display it in virtual reality. And it's a unique project, unique method how to improve your knowledge about your municipality, about infrastructure under the surface, and more information you collect, better situation for the next generation. I think it's quite interesting to see it live. So in case anybody is interested in the technology, we'll be in the lobby at the stand, and we can show you the presentation in detail, and we can show you live demonstration, how it looks like in the virtual reality. Thank you very much, and let's continue according to our agenda. Thank you very much, Tomáš Kafka. So you are invited, so in case you are interested to know more about I take picture of a construction, I think it's really interesting topic for mayors. So our colleagues are ready for you at the stand in the lobby, and you can of course agree on practical cooperation, which is the other bonus of the conference. Now I would like to invite a representative of European Union, Mr. Stavros Kalapotas, leader of the 5GSC team. And in case you are interested, please take your headphones. It is going to be interpreted, and you can also respond, ask questions, comments, and so on. So, thank you, Zdeněk. We have opened this topic a little bit, how to use cell networks, and I'm pleased that our colleague Stavros came to join us today and show us demonstration projects that are already in place, and they can guide us how to use demonstration projects in the Czech Republic. We are talking about 5G networks. Nevertheless, 5G without our fixed networks cannot operate. So, Stavros?
Thank you very much. Thanks for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here at your BCO conference. An explicit thank you also to the colleagues, to Mikael Manhart for his invitation. I took some notes from the very interesting presentation that we did. I heard from the previous speakers. First of all, my name is Stavros Kalapotas. I'm a policy officer in European Commission, working in the investment in high-capacity networks unit under CEF Digital. We are responsible for the CEF Digital work program, and we have the specific topic of 5G for smart communities we were about to discuss today. So, bridging also from the previous presentations, I read with a very interesting notes about how quality of data and the role for proper mapping, and eventually how this data we rely for investment. And based on this, we have based on this data, we you, the country, provide the investments in underserved or white areas. So this is very interesting to hear. Also very interesting that the state aid is supporting the 5G development. and especially for rural areas. So in that respect, I would like to give you some hints about CEF Digital in general, where we have the policy objectives of our work program, which is around the Digital Decade Policy Program for 2030 targets. As you might know already, we have the target of all populated areas and households to be served with 1 gigabit connectivity up to 2030, with an intermediate target of at least 100 megabits at 2025. This is also is also a target for the 5G connectivity as well. So all household and all populated areas must be covered by 2030 with 5G connectivity. Another aspect that we also we need to consider, and we have also integrated in the new call for proposals in call 3, and I will go through more about it later. We have the edge computation, so edge computing capabilities that are increasing and must be, the goal of 2030 is to have 10,000 edge-capable nodes being deployed. Going into more on the high level where our let's say topic of 5G for smart community stands, we have the large-scale 5G deployments with starting with a major transport path. We have the famous 5G corridors project under CEF Digital. We have, of course, urban areas that needs to be served by the 5G connectivity. And then we are focusing with this specific topic with specifically on local 5G system in either in rural or, let's say, in less populated areas. So we have this geographical continuum horizontally. You see the bar on top. And then we have also some other verticals we need to take into consideration, which are mainly the use cases, the cloud edge and infrastructure, as well as the connected objects. So we have, for every use case, we have vertical integration with these technologies. What we have seen so far from previous calls in 5G for smart communities, you can see here actually the geographical map of call 1 projects. There are actually 7 ongoing projects at the moment. Currently also call 2 results are imminent to be published. Currently they are in the status of grant agreement preparation, so the gap phase, and by the end of November, early December, we expect to have the results also published. Here you can see on the slide from call 1 projects the actual member states, the funding that they have been awarded, and the type of application. And I will also go through in more detail in a few moments. So we have actually Hungary, Germany, Italy, and Belgium and France as well. What we have noticed from the previous calls, as well as from the overall evolution in call 2 projects, although we are not capable, let's say, at this stage to publish them openly to you, we can give you some insights from the project's portfolio that we have seen already. So we have already noticed that there are a lot of public operators, alternative operators, as well as tower companies. We also seen not only typical public 5G networks, but as well as mobile private networks. We have transitional flexibility, which means that we not only support 5G standalone networks, which means that we include also the 5G core, but also we have the flexibility to support at an evolutionary, let's say, stage, the 5G non-standalone networks that mainly resembles only the RF upgrade part. What we also noticed in Call 2 and Call 1 projects that there is some improvements and some embarrassment of edge cloud network integration, which mean we have some key benefits out of it. Mainly, we can support densification, increase of the connected objects and devices throughout the network, as well as reduced power consumption. So one of the main benefits is the power efficiency that we bring with the edge computing devices being deployed at the last mile, actually the base station antennas. We have also a variety of IoT applications being reported, such as port safety, city recycling, city traffic, and precision agriculture. There are also multiple verticals. So we have health, education, energy, and transport. And we have a positive impact in environmental transition and energy consumption. So this is one of the benefits, not only from coming natively from the 5G connectivity, but as well as from the edge cloud integration. So taking this feedback further and incorporating into the Call 3 text, we have included as a new feature now bundling the 5G connectivity with edge cloud deployment. So at this stage, we not only reimbursed the up to 75% the 5G infrastructure, but also the edge cloud computing infrastructure, which is of course not mandatory, but if deployed, must be at the same location in order to take advantage the energy and the time efficiency, as previously already mentioned. What remains unchanged in Call 3, we have at least, we needed to have at least two partners, the owner of the 5G infrastructure, the provider and the provider of the service of general interest, so the SGI use case. 75% still remains, up to the percent of reimbursement for the infrastructure cost, including passive and active infrastructure. We have also an option to fund up to 10% of the fiber backhaul that may need to be deployed for the 5G connectivity to be established. The total funding following, so actually now the total funding is already published. It is 51 million euro, and we have a procurement that should be in line with the 5G cybersecurity toolbox, which includes and needs to be highlighted for the high-risk suppliers. The duration remains unchanged, so we have still 36 months for all the projects, but of course there are exemptions, there are possible extensions depending on the use case. Again, more visually to give you the scope, we have the eligible cost, which is again up to 75%. 5G passive and active infrastructure is funded, as well as the 5G connectivity software, meaning all the NMS, etc., for the 5G network is funded, is reimbursed. We have the edge cloud hardware and software infrastructure, so this is good in that respect. We have the fiber backhaul up to 10%, and we need to highlight that the applications for the use case, regardless if this is going to be IoT, so at the higher level, all the applications are not, let's say, funded, reimbursed by our program. The participants, again, is the owners of the funded 5G infrastructure, as well as the public authority or the provider of services of general interest. Security requirements, a self-declaration by the main beneficiaries and the partners must be provided and approved by the member states. However, the end users of the projects are exempted from this obligation. Here in short, I have some slides to give you some details from the projects that are currently under development from Call 1. You can see on the left the French use case for, excuse me, the Italian use case, which is a 5G for a smart Sicilian academic campus in Italy. And we have Vodafone Italia and the University of Palermo as the main consortium partners. And the use case is for new functional approaches to educational training in the university and the hospital. So they're creating a continuous care system. We have also the German, the Frankfurt Hospital, University Hospital, that is offering again with Vodafone in this project that is providing mobile ultrasound examinations, telemedicine concepts, as well as diagnosis of COVID and other digital health improvisations. The French one in Toulouse, we have the public administration and the city services that are being innovated or improvised by 5G connectivity. We have the Toulouse Metropole and Alsatis. So you see, it's the city owns the network in this specific use case, and is considered the owner of the mobile network infrastructure. And the main use case is about traffic management and supervision of public spaces for safety reasons. Another healthcare use case is demonstrated in Flanders. We have a 5G innovative healthcare services for the West Flanders in Belgium. And there we have remote assistance and emergency response vehicles being supported by 5G. Also a Hungarian one, so this is a 5G agri-tech hub being deployed in Hungary right now. And Vodafone Hungary, together with a service of general interest provider, is establishing a 5G mobile private network hub to demonstrate a precision agriculture use cases. Also row crop cultivator, machine-to-machine connections, as well as weed monitoring and spraying plan with machine-to-machine connection in field crop production. So in general, precision agriculture use case. Going again and reflecting on how we are closing the gap with 5G and edge. So we have this convergence with real-life use cases, as we have seen already. Let's say the premise is that we have seen, let's say, a slow rollout of edge capacity in 5G. If you have been noticing the earlier, the first slide that I showed you, there are actually 0 edge nodes currently, and the target is up to 2030 to become 10,000. So in order to compensate and tackle this issue, we need to decrease the latency, and in order to offload all the energy the devices with more power efficient, more computing efficient devices. So this is one of the benefits implementing edge computing with 5G. We have also seen projects previously, such as the 5G Carmen, which was a 5G PPP project, and which was more focused in connected and automated mobility, and in that respect have shown significant benefits with edge computing as well as 5G. So we have this, all these use cases, not only at the real-life scenarios, being implemented not only at the research level, but also at the implementation level, and this is very good. All these experimental results, we are, let's say, focusing on to see them, also to embrace them in Call 3 projects. Without further ado, I'm copying here the details for Call 3, In the QR code is the actual the URL of for the submission portal of HADEA. You see the available budget, again, it's 51 million euro. And the application deadline, it is currently the 17th of January 2024. So hopefully you find my presentation interesting, and I'm ready for your questions.
Thank you very much, Stavros, for thank you very much, Stavros, for coming here and being with us to present the steps of the European Union. When remembering or looking at the last slide of the presentation, I think it is also a challenge for you. Maybe you should start thinking about your activities and about how the demonstration projects should be used in terms of the services to be deployed. Because you will use common European money, and you may be looking for some joint or common solutions and push things forward. When I started to learn about 5G networks and smart things, so all that is very interesting, and gaining experience you adapt to your personal growth too. Time is tight, so we have agreed that well, there were supposed to be presentations about smart 5G activities which are being carried out by BCO and also by our colleagues and partners in other institutions who does help us promote the technologies, and that is why we moved the presentation into the other room, the other meeting room, because there are certain presentation boxes where you can see all the activities that we are carrying out. You will also receive the slides, so you can have a look at the activities just by yourselves, and you can talk to our colleagues there.